All right, Rob, welcome to the House of Stiles podcast.
Very first one.
Yes.
We're pretty much rookies at this, so we're going to be winging it and learning as we go.
We are most definitely learning as we go. It's been an experience. We've been working on trying to get sound together for 3 days now and multiple Amazon orders. And John, our youngest, we're literally about to pull his hair out with his anti-tech parents. So his Gen X and his millennial parent that really has no clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
We don't have a clue what we're doing, but here we are. Honestly, 6 years in the making. I've been really wanting to do a podcast for a good 6 years. So for 6 years, I don't know why I haven't, other than it just wasn't the right timing.
And I think
I probably would have got canceled.
Yeah, probably all the social media videos that you've done, your YouTube videos you've done has probably kind of prepared you for this.
Yeah, prepare and took away a little bit of the anxiety. But I will say, this is a whole nother level of cringiness for me. Like, it is so awkward for me right now to sit across the table from you because we talk all the time.
Right.
Or let me rephrase that. I talk all the time. And so you listen well.
I didn't say that. You said it.
Hey, look, I'll own it. You listen well. So it's going to be interesting to do a podcast because honestly, I vacillate on it. And you talked me off the ledge last night. I appreciate that. That pep talk. I was ready to not do a podcast for many, many reasons. One reason primarily being I felt like I don't have anything to say, which we know that is a lie.
Very ironic for you to say.
And the second reason is I'm scared what I might have to say could potentially, ruffle some feathers. I mean,
I'm sure it will.
I'm sure
sure
it will.
both of us, yeah.
Nowadays, if you say the sky's blue and it's an off gray, there's a dramatic event on social media. So we shall see how this goes. But for me, I've been wanting to do a podcast for literally, if you look back at my journals, it's 6 years. Of course, it has morphed into from wanting to do a real estate podcast to just wanting to talk about everything because.
Yeah. And I can say from my end that I've probably been drug along to be a part of the podcast. But the closer we got to actually doing it and the more you were talking about it and excited about it, the more excited I got about it. So
you like to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely.
You like to hear your own voice.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I have a beautiful voice.
So talking about getting drug along, that's pretty much how we live our life.
Yeah.
Rob gets drug along in my various endeavors, and it's always something new every week. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes what do I say? That Faith, you're shotgunning me.
Yes,
You'll throw out 8 or 20 ideas at a time, and my brain is wrapped around the first or second one, maybe.
Well, you need to learn to keep up. I don't know what to tell you, but so I took the liberty of pulling some random questions from ChatGPT because who doesn't need the help of ChatGPT? I don't know what I did prior to ChatGPT. I must have been somewhat smart because I made it through college without ChatGPT, and I would say I'll go toe-to-toe with any Gen Zer that can honestly say they've done that.
Well, I think probably this generation, most of their school is done through ChatGPT if they can.
And you know what? Good on them.
Yep.
Like, if I had it back then, I would have totally.
Yeah, I mean, we had the encyclopedias. We looked it up. This is just a quicker, more in-depth way of looking stuff up, looking answers to your problems up.
For sure. But I had ChatGPT pull us some just random questions, topics that we could talk about in case I ran out of things to say, which would be very surprising. But here we are. So we've gone over what really drove us to making a podcast, and the answer was Faith, me. So there's that. What do we think? What do we hope people listening to, because I mean, we need to have, of course, we need to have more of an in-depth why, other than we just like to hear ourselves talk and I drug you along. But I'm asking, what do we hope that listeners would walk away with after listening to however long we can talk, if they make it through the first 10 minutes?
Well, since you and I tend to be very, very personal relationship based in our careers and everything we do, that this would kind of help grow our friendships, whether it be on social media. We have a lot of friends on social media we've never met, but I'm upset when they're upset when I see their stuff on social. I mean, it's a different time now. So that, I'm hoping that this will help them understand where we come from with what we put off on social media or what we say, and that those friendships could grow, those relationships could grow. It's funny on social media, you tend to only post the high points and the good times.
Well, it is a modern day scrapbook.
Yeah. And so, your pictures that you put on there are great. I'm on vacation or I'm doing this. And your little posts are meant to grab attention or get a laugh out of somebody. And I appreciate all 7 of you that follow me and enjoy my post. But yeah, I mean, this is a way for them to kind of get a picture behind what we look like and act like on social media. And you start realizing we're the same people.
Yeah, and we will get better at this. I feel like we're right now, just, of course, this is our first episode, so it's awkward.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll come out of this awkwardness, so I hope we do.
We have cameras looking at us. We know we're being recorded.
We have our version of a Jamie, which is Joe Rogan has a Jamie. Our version is a Johnny, so our youngest son is helping us here. Yeah. So it's awkward, and I hope that we can, and I think we will. If you caught me in the right mood, honey, I'd need 12 microphones, because when I got something to say, I don't care if you're listening or not. You're going to hear it. So for me personally, I think I would like to, first and foremost, the world is a dumpster fire right now. And every time you turn on something to listen to or to watch, for me personally, and I thought I had cleared my Facebook out pretty good. Like, I thought I had blocked and deleted and unfriended enough that when I went to my Facebook, it was like kind of an extension. Whether you agree with that or not, when I'm paying for my phone, when I go to open it up, I don't want to see some random jackwagon yelling at me for something I said. So I thought I had cleared my Facebook out. Clearly, I didn't do it enough, but I hope that when people listen to this, they get a good laugh at our expense sometimes. And they, I don't want to say I hope somebody learns something, because that's kind of pretentious of me to feel like I have anything that I could possibly teach somebody. But if it helps, I guess help would be a better word.
Yeah, maybe maybe we'll be telling some stories, on this podcast or another one, and it's things that we've gone through, problems we've dealt with, and we worked it out. We made our way through it. Maybe some people can get some things out of that and help them with what's going on in their lives.
Because believe it or not, we've been through it. A lot of it. You can add a side of that, but a lot of it. So we'll start with the topic of generational perspectives, Rob, because clearly.
Are we talking about my gray hair right now?
Mine's colored, or I would have it too. But clearly there's a generational difference. Let's just get that out there, because people are going to be like...
13 years.
13 years. But we have recently had someone ask if you were my dad.
And that's not the first time.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awkward. Talk about awkward for the person asking it, which just seems like it's always some very young waitress. And I literally feel terrible for her, because she is mortified when she realized. And you don't look like you could be. I have aged much less gracefully than you.
No, you've aged much less than me. So do you know?
You don't look.
It kind of falls in line when you say something like that, or ask someone that. It's kind of like the whole, "Hey, are you pregnant?" question. It's one of those that you just don't ask until you know.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we always we do laugh it off. We give them the benefit of the doubt because, I mean, you don't color your hair. I color mine. So we're both aging. It's just, I probably look a little young. I am a little younger, but I probably look, much younger because I do things to prevent, not enough to prevent that aging process. But anyway, so generational perspectives. Here's a good one. What's the biggest cultural difference between being raised in the 70s and 80s, which is you, Rob, versus being raised in the 80s and 90s, which is me? You go first.
So I was born in 1969. So Gen X, I guess is what you call it, Generation X.
Oh, don't act like you guess. You have the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generation X. Our generation tends to be disconnected, appear as though we don't care, and it actually
appear.
Yeah, appear.
Okay. So y'all care?
Sometimes. It depends. But it actually helped me in my first career, which was an ER nurse, because in any stressful situation, there needs to be at least one person in the room that keeps their cool and holds it together so that everyone else has an anchor point to hold on to. And I tended to be that. And sometimes even get asked by fellow nurses, you act like you don't care or nothing bothers you. It does, but we just show it different, or we don't show it. Maybe we internalize it. But so having married a millennial wife who
barely millennial, I'm more like a zennial.
Yeah,
I'm an elder millennial.
Yeah, but that generation tends to be more inquisitive. They want to know why.
Oh yeah, that question's got me in trouble a lot of times.
Yeah, and so it has 21 years of marriage, and we are still working our way through those cultural and generational differences right now. Wouldn't you say?
So you were a latchkey kid. That's what the Generation X is known for. Your parents basically went to work before the sun came up. You got yourself ready and your siblings ready. You went to school, you came home. Latchkey meaning you opened the door for yourself. You fixed yourself some snacks, started on your homework or didn't. So you basically, Gen Xers tended to be very self-reliant at a young age because a lot of parents were working all the time. Yeah. I did that too. Like I said, I'm on the cusp of the Gen X generation. My parents literally went to work before the sun came up and weren't home until well after the sun went down a lot of times. So there was a lot of in between. Being from Arkansas, I had a four-wheeler. I would go back and forth to my dad's business on. So there was a lot of freedom. So yes, I am a millennial, but I did have the same freedom, I think, that you got to experience as a Gen X.
And I think both of us, both generations, we had to grow up faster.
Well, yeah.
Out of necessity.
Because we had boomer parents.
Yeah. And so
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, but our parents weren't there a lot of times, both parents working and this, that, and other. So we had to grow up and learn to be self-sufficient at a pretty young age. Whereas the generations now, I don't want my kids to have to go through that. You don't want, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching, you're almost overprotective of your kids now. It's good and bad. Right?
Yeah.
Because you tend to,
we see that.
You protect them from doing things that are going to harm themselves or ruin their, lives or whatever. But at the same time, it's like a toddler when they're learning how to walk. You got to let them fall sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes in our generation, we can overcorrect for that. We don't want them to fall.
Yeah.
And so it slows down that maturing.
Speaking of generational differences, I was watching a video yesterday on TikTok, and I saw some Army commander. I don't know all those positions, but he was higher up in the military, and he was talking about the generational differences. And somebody asked, "What are Gen Z, military kids? What are they like?" And so, I was expecting some, they're disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. He said they're pretty amazing, the Gen Zers that are coming in. First off, their IQ is way high. So they're smart.
Much smarter than we were.
Yes. And they're fearless. So what comes across as disrespectful to some generations, Gen Xers, boomers, is actually just, they're not being disrespectful. They're literally just fearless in the fact that they'll ask you a question. So the higher ups, they'll go toe to toe with just by asking, why are we doing this? What do you mean? What does this have to be? So I thought that was interesting because I was thinking about our own kids. And I could see that. Super smart, but almost like at times I've looked at the boys and been like, did you really just ask me that? Did you really just say that to me? And took it disrespectfully, but it's not that they just don't have the fear. Now, whether that's a good thing or not, they don't have the fear of authority. So it's not like a rebellion against authority. They just don't fear it, which could lead into a whole lot of conversations because there is a good, healthy fear, in my opinion. But at the same time, have our generations and the generations before that really just carried that a little too far?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I've got a daughter that's a millennial, a later millennial. And she, being raised with me, she tends to hold on to a lot of my traits. She's not very outward with her emotions. She's very self-reliant and outgoing at the same time. My two Gen Z children, at first it was a struggle because you want them, hey, get outside, and we'd take them fishing and whatever, but their happy place was in their room, either on a computer or on a video game or watching TV, watching movies and this, that, and other. And you had to realize this is a whole new way of life. Like everything is tech driven. Everything is on some form of platform now. Their relationships are online. Much more than just our little Facebook accounts. I mean, their relationships are digital, I guess is a good word for it. And so we had to, I'll speak for me, I had to let go of a lot of, you got to get outside. They do get outside and they do socialize. But we've got a son now who's making a decent living for a 19-year-old online.
Well, I think that was why we've changed our opinion a little bit about it. Prior to that happening, we, in the back of our mind, were like, is this really healthy? Like, don't I need to be pushing him to go punch a time clock and do this and do that? No, that has single-handedly changed our mind a little bit about it and made us see that these kids, they work smarter, not harder. Now,
yeah, exactly.
We're going to have a problem in the very near future of when the boomers leave this world. There's going to be a lapse in, like, we're going to need laborers, which I feel like there is a push for Gen Zers to get into the workforce and all that. So I hope that sticks.
Yeah.
But my generation, we were we were the transition babies from get your hands dirty to work smarter, not harder. So there's that generation, and then the Gen Zers have just embraced the fact that they can do a lot of this stuff, and now AI is coming along, and I know nothing about AI other than ChatGPT and a few others.
And it's literally just a continuation of what they've been doing their whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just more help for them.
There's no learning curve.
Yeah.
I come from a generation, we didn't have computers. We didn't have video games. We didn't have anything.
We had like a black and orange computer thing, and we stuck Oregon Trail in there, and I used to live for Oregon Trail days during library hours.
I was before those days. I had, at one point, I had an Atari, and we played Pong. And it was basically one line over here that you could move up and down, and the other person could move it up and down, and a little digital ball bounced back and forth, and you hit it back and forth. That was it.
I had a Nintendo, and then I had a Super Nintendo. That's what it was. So there was the regular Nintendo, and then I had a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I can't say anything about my kids because there was this flight simulator game. I literally would be stuck in my room at like 9 and 10 years old. I would try my dangest to land that plane. I finally got good at it, but it took me a minute. So, but, my parents left me alone. And,
and looking at things I'm thankful for now that's come along. Like when I grew up, we didn't have cell phones. I can't imagine my parents not being able to get a hold of me and know where. I mean, we were all over the county on our bicycles, on our skateboards, whatever it was. And they never knew where we were.
They knew. I guarantee you if we ask our moms, they knew. Those neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
See, it was that's another generational difference. And we have a question. What values from the past should be carried forward into today? I think one of those values probably is like, you need to watch out for other people's kids. And I think where we grew up, everybody knew everybody for one. It was a small town, but everybody looked out for everybody else's kids.
Yeah, definitely.
I snuck out one time. I snuck out more than once, but I got caught sneaking out one time, and then I got smart. But the first time, my mom knew. I snuck out at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning on a 4-wheeler. My mom knew by 5 o'clock that same morning.
I ran a red light on my first little moped at 14 years old and was literally on my way home. And when I walked in the door, which wasn't 2 minutes later, the phone was ringing and it was my mom. Hey, why'd you run that red light on your scooter?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's some generational differences. That's one I wish, but you can't really do that. Here, it's a little different than I think still where we're from, there's still a little bit of that because everybody knows everybody and it's still small town. This is a little different. People here, because it's such a mixed group, we've got a lot of people, we've got some native Floridians, we've got a lot of transplants, we've got a lot of northern snowbirds, we've got a lot of people that are like pro 55 plus communities and wish they were everywhere, so they would prefer not to even see kids, much less have to deal with somebody else's kids.
Yeah.
So, True. Here it's a little different. I have had my kids since I moved here come to me, and they had a older gentleman like jump their butt for no reason. Now they were like young, like 10, 11. Because they were walking the dog. The dog had not even used the bathroom, but because he had obviously had a problem with the dog using the bathroom and somebody's dog using the bathroom, he just assumed it was our kids not picking it up. So he took it upon himself to come out and just get in my kid's face. They come home, they tell me about it. Well, what happened next.
Yeah.
So... But if it had been where we were from and somebody had done that and I knew that person because I've known them my whole life, I wouldn't dare say anything. I'd be like, well, I guess you better make sure you pick up the poop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But because I don't know them, I wasn't going to allow that, which it wasn't true, but I wasn't going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just some generational perspectives. Y'all had good music. We had good music. So I don't think that's anything. I mean, like...
Yeah, 80s music.
80s and 90s.
70s and 80s music was fire.
Yeah, 70s, 80s, 90s. It hasn't been the same since.
No.
Let's talk about some other things. What do you want to talk about, Rob?
Well, you got some doozies on this list.
I do. I think some of them are so heavy, I don't even know if we're ready to get into that.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really specify too much. I guess what ChatGPT did is took some of the information that I gave it about us, and just ran with the questions in light of what's going on in today's world, which is a lot.
Let's look at, because especially me, we're so heavily into it. This whole generation is social media and the new public square.
Okay.
Let's look at that.
Do you feel censorship and cancel culture are silencing everyday people? Is that what you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, the first question on there is social media helping or hurting political and cultural discourse.
Oh, I missed that one.
And then, do you feel censorship and cancel culture are silencing everyday people? And then, how do you personally set boundaries using social media? I don't know if I do.
By looking at my weekly usage, I think I am. I think I'm getting better, and then I'm obviously not.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, what do you average a day?
I don't know.
What do you average a week?
I don't know.
Dude, you don't get the update?
Mm-mm.
You probably should. That's probably like something you need to put on your phone so you can look and see. You would probably, knowing you, be appalled.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. Because I'm on my phone a lot. I'm not on my phone as much as you.
Yeah.
And I'm like averaging like 9 hours a day.
What?
9 hours.
That's a whole lifetime.
No crap. You can imagine you're probably 18.
No, I sleep a lot more than that.
You're probably like 12. I think it's every time you open your phone.
Mm-hmm.
It
phone calls, text
clicks.
messages,
Is that
social
correct?
media, whatever.
Yes, but I'm averaging 9 hours and like 18 minutes a day.
Well, I mean, we're realtors, and so our phone
That's
is our
not an
business
excuse
too.
because our phone's not really ringing right now as realtors. Come
True.
on, people, let's turn it on. I know you want to buy some houses out there. Y'all know we're going to throw that in. Yeah, the phones are a little slow, so I do advertise, but I can't blame it on that.
So the first question is: social media helping or hurting political and cultural discourse?
Both.
Both, but I'm gonna say it's leaning heavily toward hurting, just because I think being behind a keyboard or behind your phone and not face to face. I mean, in my day, some of the things that are said online, you'd get punched in the mouth for, because you'd have to say it person to person, because we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have social media. Nowadays, you don't have to have that fear of retaliation, someone getting angry with you and, blowing up in front of you because you're behind a screen. You could be a whole state away. You could be the whole country away from the person.
I mean, it's obvious that is now carrying over into real action, though. That's where the problem is.
Exactly.
That's the harmful aspect of it. People don't know when to stop. It goes with anything. You give somebody a little bit, they're going to continue to take more. So they've gotten used to the keyboard gangsters side of it.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to push the envelope a little bit more. I feel it in myself, if I'm being really honest. Like, I can go at it with somebody back and forth online, and it will put me in such a way that when I leave out, I'm really ready to fight somebody. So I have to be careful. I mean, it puts me in a mood to where, like, which I'm half cocked all the time anyway, but it puts me in a way like there is it's the mental shit. There's a mental shift. Like, you get so, like, I hate everybody. I hate everything that's going on in the world. And when you put it down, you carry it out, that one person's going to pop off at you. And it's hard to get out of that funk, I guess, even though this is reality.
So your best friend in social media, I'm going to say this to the people that listen to this. Your best friend in social media is the block button.
Oh, I block all the time.
If it gets to a point where it is disrupting your mood, and look, we're going to read stuff, we're going to think it's funny, we're going to read stuff, and we're going to get a little agitated. That's fine. But if it gets to a point where it starts consuming you, a lot of your time, worrying, stressing, mulling over what you read online, especially from certain person or certain people, whatever, the block button is your best friend.
Yeah, I know.
And do it for yourself, if nothing else.
Like, there's things going on in the world right now that's just information. that pisses me off.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the news, whatever side you want to look at it,
Yeah.
it just trying to figure out what the weather is. You got people arguing about the weather.
I mean, there's an old saying from social media when the Twitter days before X and Facebook. It was Twitter was where you go to make new friends. Facebook is where you lost old friends. And if you think about it, in this heightened political environment over the last several years, there's people I grew up with that aren't on my social media anymore.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily that they argued with me. I might never said a word to them. I just didn't like watching them vent online or argue online, so I just got them off my social media so I didn't have to look at it. That made me a happier person.
Right.
It's like watching the news all the time. And I know some of you sitting out there, and I have been there. You sit and every chance you get, you're watching the news. When was the last time you heard good news on the news? When was the last time anything on the news made you feel really good? It happens every once in a while. But let's be honest, it doesn't make the news if it's good news. Bad news makes the news. And that can affect you mentally. That can affect your whole mood, the way you deal with your family, the way you deal with your friends, your career, how you are perceived out in public, your mood just from sitting in front of a TV watching the news all day or on your phone looking at the news all day. It can be really detrimental. We need to know what's going on in the world, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't think our brains are created to absorb the amount of information, both good, bad, false.
Okay.
And all.
I have said that same thing, and I have heard it, especially nowadays. And to a point, I agree with it. But at the same time, believing how I believe, the whole our brains are not created to absorb all of this information. You have to wonder, okay, well then why are we absorbing? I mean, why is it here?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're capable. Or I wouldn't be so. But believing the way that I believe. So are some people probably more stable than others and can absorb more than others? Yes, but I mean it doesn't matter what our brains are capable. It's here now. It's a rolling train. We can't stop it. I very seldom watch the news. If I want to learn something or hear something, I go to TikTok. TikTok's normally faster than the news.
Yeah.
And you're right, it does affect our how much do we have? Can you
get this up? Y'all are 33 minutes in.
We're 33 minutes in this. Okay, let's just keep going. We're 3 weeks out from, speaking of how it affects your mood. This is 3 weeks today, correct? The 10th?
Mm-hmm.
Since Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
Yeah.
Martyred, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The mood shift in me personally.
Within our household, our whole.
And then within the world was astounding to watch. I don't even think we have words yet.
And that's even on both sides. If you want to play the devil's advocate and look at both sides, I was astounded at the reaction
here locally
from both sides.
From both sides.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, none of us knew Charlie Kirk. I had never listened to a full podcast of Charlie Kirk ever. I've seen clips of him on TikTok or on Facebook or whatever, but I'd never listened to a full conversation with him.
And that's just the most apparent conversation we can have in regards to this at this date. It's only been 3 weeks. There's a whole portion of the population of the world that's still grieving.
Yeah.
Over not just the death of somebody such as Charlie Kirk, but the death that they feel is a death of their rights, a death of their safety, a death of their American dream. a death of a lot came with that. And the whole vibe of this nation, of this area, of this world has changed overnight.
Exactly. And
whether we want to accept it or not, it has changed.
I mean, it's been said many times, it's almost cliche now, but it's the truth. This was a 9/11 event
100%.
for this
was
country.
the Gen Zers 9/11 event for sure.
Yeah.
They had never experienced anything such as this. I'll be honest with you, 9/11, I was in college and I remember it very, very clearly. And it was an amazing thing to watch after 9/11. How the country came together.
This is exactly the opposite.
The opposite. And it's just been, maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm sheltered living where we live. I was just blown away by the amount of people here locally that were just trashing the fact that somebody got shot.
Yeah.
In broad daylight for
Yeah.
just speaking truth.
Yeah. Well, so here's the here's the good side. The good side is that the younger generation, we've talked about the Gen Zers, and I don't know what you call the generation that's coming along after.
There's
them.
a name I don't remember.
But the Gen Zers, whether they listened to him or not, whether they followed him or not, you can tell even in them, when we look at them and we're thinking, oh, they're just so tied up in their video games, or it shook them. And we're not just talking about my boys. I mean, it shook an entire, I think a lot of the youth looked up to him or the idea of him and what he did and how good and articulate he was at what he did. And it was a good example now to have public discourse and not resort to violence and allowing the other side to speak and regardless of which side you stand on. That is the way it's meant to be. That's what college is for. College is for open dialogue and discourse and learning both sides.
It has been since biblical times.
Yeah. So
public square.
That event, I mean, it was, like I said, it was this generation's 9/11. And I've told my boys, you've told them, I promise you, just like I remember where I was when 9/11 happened, you will remember exactly where you were when you heard this.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, it's still the discord between both sides is still very prevalent on social media right now. It's still sickening, in my opinion. Some things that I see because they're going after now. They're going after his wife, and I mean, like, I heard someone say we deserve to be able to live in a polite society, and that word "polite" was the word that I was looking for. Like, what is happening? I mean, I'm Southern, so manners.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please and thank you.
Whether you like the person or not, you speak when spoken to, and you hold the door, and you say, you mind your manners. And like, we are living in a world, we're living in an area that manners obviously weren't taught.
We were just at Walmart 2 days ago in the parking lot, and two older men were out there about to go fisticuffs.
Yeah, they were.
One of them bumped into a cart.
Boomer's gone wild.
And made the cart hit the other guy's bumper.
I was about to pull out my phone too, by the way.
That's another thing in this everything's videotaped.
Don't do it if you don't want everybody to know about it.
If you're going to throw hands, somebody's going to be videoing.
Exactly.
So just know.
I know.
If you do it on a Friday night, the judge won't be in until Monday.
So next, do you feel censorship and cancel culture are silencing everyday people? So here we are talking on a podcast.
Yeah.
We're everyday people.
Yeah. Everyday people, I don't know so much. I think it's more, I don't want to use the word famous, but influential.
Yeah.
Influential people that tend to be victims, if you want to call it that, of cancel culture.
Which is that even a thing anymore? I feel like that's so
Yeah,
like
it's
2020.
kind of. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody's slowing down on what they're saying.
Like I don't really hear anybody worried about getting canceled anymore. They're just like,
I think
whatever.
I think the fear of that was at one point, ooh, I may lose my livelihood. Ooh, I may lose my career. Ooh, I may lose this. And now everybody's like, I don't care.
Well, now they're losing their jobs.
Cancel me. Cancel me. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole different argument.
Yeah. So I would say probably not everyday people so much. Here's a good question for myself. Am I participating in cancel culture when I block somebody that I don't like what they're saying online?
Probably. That's a good question.
I mean, I'm not canceling them from the rest of the world, but I'm canceling them from my world.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, here's my dilemma. There is such a thing as freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
Just like these people are out here saying you can't fire somebody because they're practicing their freedom of speech, but they do have freedom of speech, but there's always consequences.
Yeah.
There's different
Yeah.
rules underneath that. I look at it as if somebody jumps on my post, I don't go out and jump on people's posts. I very seldom will put anything on somebody's post that I don't agree with. Like I'll just like keep swiping, or I'll screenshot it and send it to you, and then we'll have a conversation about how they're an idiot. But I don't really like battle with people until they come onto my post. So I feel like where is the free, like this is a free platform, but I don't have to listen to your crap on my post.
Yeah.
Unless I choose to.
But we have to realize we're putting it out there publicly when we post
I know.
something. So we're
I do spar with people on my post.
Yeah.
But then I'll quickly
again, we're putting it out there publicly so that everyone has an opportunity to comment on it. So then it comes down to, do we engage with those comments? Do we ignore them? Do we block them? Do we delete them?
How to handle trolls. That kind of leads to something you talked about the other day that we could talk about. Well, I mean, you have a lot of options.
Yeah.
You can be one. Back.
Out troll the troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say be the craziest one in the room. Or
Yeah.
at least let people think you are, because then you won't have a problem. But you can block, or you can
be petty.
You can engage. There's a lot of different options. Or you can get off social media altogether if you're not tough enough to take it.
Yeah.
So, that's the way to handle trolls. And believe me, we've had a few. I don't really consider them too hardcore. They're just a nuisance, like a little mosquito.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go and somebody's, you're an idiot. I've been called an idiot in the last 3 weeks. I've been said I'm low IQ. I'm uneducated. That tends to always be what they're going for right now.
Yeah.
Is I'm smarter than you.
Yeah. And I don't, and let me back up. I don't block everybody I disagree with. It's when it turns nasty.
Yeah.
It's when it gets really nasty, really personal, really offensive. I don't want to see those kind of words on my social media post, whatever. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I disagree all the time with people online, and in a very almost lighthearted way.
You literally on Twitter used to argue as a sport. So that's what I got off Twitter. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'll just be real, transparent right now. For some reason, my Twitter, geeked out. It was during the time when Elon took over. So I don't know if we had to, get off of it.
You didn't get the update.
I didn't get the update. So I had to, recently reinstall it. And this is going to put, a bad smear on my name to a lot of church-going wonderful people out there. But here's the truth. I got back on Twitter for one reason, and that was to follow Milo. If you don't know who Milo is, don't look him up. I'm just telling you right now, don't do it. But it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm not saying I agree with him.
It's almost like a shock value. What is he going to say next?
Yeah, honestly, I don't agree. I don't agree with him with a lot. But I'm intrigued.
You appreciate his bluntness.
I mean, who do you know what a gift he is to us? If we really, people are going to say he's the devil. And there's parts of that he'd probably agree with.
Yeah.
Like literally, but that's who he would literally sit here and agree with them. And that is you don't get that out of people. Like he literally
He cuts through the BS.
Oh, he does.
He wants open dialogue, but he wants to be brutally honest with it.
Yeah, and he is offensive and abrasive and all of the bad things that he can be. But at the same time, like if you look past that, like I had a brother. My brother was like that. If you looked past the vulgarity of what he was saying to the heart of it, there was some truth there a lot of times that you didn't want to hear. So that's a gift that is not celebrated at all in this generation.
Yeah.
I mean, or at all, period. Because, I mean, the truth often offends. But, I mean, people can judge me. I have started following one more person, and that's Babylon Bee, just because I missed them. I used to follow them all the time. So I follow two people on Twitter. X.
X now, yes. Yeah. This one question kind of follows that and falls in line is passing on wisdom. What values do you most want to leave to the next generation? And I was going to start with truth.
100%. Which is, can I say something real quick? Mm-hmm. I don't want to interrupt you or slow your roll. But that's another thing I meant to say about this podcast. Like I started a YouTube channel about my camping for one reason only. There's going to come a time when I'm not going to be here and I'll have grandkids and great grandkids. And we live in such a time as they can honestly, just like we felt like we got to know Charlie Kirk, they can get to know us generations to come.
Yeah.
I mean, what a gift. And I'm like, what a fool I am if I don't take advantage of that. So, of course, that was my main drive. Whether this ever gets on the internet or YouTube or whatever, my grandkids will have this. They're going to be able to hear their grandparents speak, sometimes debate.
And watch video.
And literally see our expression. And they will feel like they know us. And there might come a time when they're like, what would they have done? What would they have said? Mm-hmm. They aren't going to agree with us always. Who knows what the world's going to be like that time. But yes, back to what you were saying.
So back to truth. And you said it. Truth sometimes hurts. A lot of times truth hurts. And so what do? We would rather tell a little white lie or fib to prevent from hurting someone's feelings.
We would?
Well, I'm just saying, as a culture, as a culture now, we have pulled back a lot, and I'm speaking on terms of maybe almost like an intervention type situation. A lot of people will allow things or enable things to continue because they don't want to offend or hurt someone's feelings. Whereas, what is the more loving thing to do? You tell them the truth.
Well, now they've got the excuse. Well, that's your truth, not mine.
Relatively.
But
I mean, if I put an easy example would be to put this in real estate terms. If I tell a seller that their house needs to be listed and is worth $400,000, and I don't get that listing because someone else told them they can get $600,000 for their house, right?
Which has happened to us.
Which has happened multiple times. Yeah. And then the house sits on the market and it doesn't sell for $600,000, and they end up lowering the price all the way down to $400,000, and then it sells. So I lost the listing, but I told them the truth. And sometimes that's doing someone a favor, even if you lose the relationship over it. Let me tell you, you plant a seed of truth in someone. First of all, they know it. Whether they deny it or not, they know it. They may never speak to you again, but you don't know the effect that had on them 5 years from now, 10 years from now. They may think back. We know a bunch of examples of that, Faith. You look back and you go, wow.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have listened to that 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of, getting mad and getting away from that person, ending the relationship. So that's a trait I would love to bring into this generation. Like I said, we tended to do that more. It seemed like, quote unquote, back in the day. And I guess the key to it, though, is do it with love. Right? You don't want to tell the truth just to win an argument and be mean to someone, even though it's true.
I agree.
But you use it you're wielding it as a weapon.
Right.
A weapon for destruction, a weapon for bad. You don't want to use the truth in that way. You want to use the truth in love so that someone who may be going through something or whatever may be changed. Not that you're wanting them to change, but you see a destructive pattern going on, and you don't want them going down that road.
Right.
It's their choice. But I mean, who in their right mind, they see a blind person walking off a cliff, they won't grab them by the shirt and pull them back. So,
right.
Well,
no, I agree. I agree 100% with what you're saying. I feel like do it with love is very in a lot of people's minds, it's probably like it's a pathway to, it's vague. You know what love, because I tend to be very, and you've told me it's not what I say, it's how I say it. And I sometimes don't see where that should be offensive to you. And then we go back and forth because I'm like, you're just offended because it's the truth. And you're like, no, I understand it's the truth. It's the way you said it. So like, I think in this generation, what the time we live in now, yes, we need to lead with love. I think that can bleed into a moralism with a lot of people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They need to be grounded in what that means versus just being a morality or having a morality about them.
You're taking that into the religious realm, and that's
of course I am.
And that's a discussion maybe for another podcast.
Because you can't love. That's a whole big discussion.
Right.
You don't even know how to love without the love of God.
Exactly, and that's a long discussion in itself that we'll get into one day. But you're exactly right.
Because I could say something and it be the truth, and people automatically think that I'm not being loving just because of my tone. Mm-hmm. That's just the way I talk sometimes, you know?
You're so it's
very like opinion based. Oh, well, I can't accept what you're saying because of how you're saying it. Mm-hmm. Because you're not doing it in love. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That's a whole different conversation for a whole nother day, but we will get to that because that sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
sure, those ratings will go off the charts.
Maybe.
Y'all are creeping up on an hour.
Okay, cool. How many minutes we got?
7 minutes until it's an hour.
All right, so we got 7 minutes until an hour. We've done well.
Yeah.
Our first podcast, I think. Let's end with one question. I don't know. Oh. What books, thinkers, leaders have most influenced your worldview? Well, of course, the Bible. That one's a no-brainer for me. Like, books, thinkers, or leaders. But let's just is there anybody in particular right? I mean, I don't hate to keep bringing it up. I don't really care if you want to hear it or not. I mean, Charlie Kirk was one of those that were influential, and I listened to Charlie. I watched I thought, wow, how can somebody respond off the cuff like that? So that's somebody that's, because clearly it's just happened and he's on our mind. So I think he didn't necessarily influence my worldview because I just looked at him as almost like my kid's age. You know what I mean? Even though he's not, he's kind of in between mine and my kid's age. But I don't know. I think where he's influenced, his being alive influenced me after his death to literally say, you know what, I'm done holding my tongue. So his influence for me personally, it's just been like, why are you not doing what you're supposed to do? Why are you not opening your mouth when it's appropriate?
Yeah.
So I think that's the influence Charlie Kirk had on us, or me, since we're talking about him. But books, oh man, I got a list of books. Right now I'm currently reading East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I'm about midway through. I'll let you know. It's been amazing so far. So, Anything for you? Any podcasts, books, speakers, preachers, teachers?
This is it's an oldie but a goodie. But I've read it. Let me say this: I haven't read the whole. Honestly, I haven't read this whole book. I've read at it several times. Is The Art of War, and it is different. That probably the reason I haven't read it is because it gets monotonous.
Yeah.
As you go through it. But there is so much applicable little nuggets in there.
Yeah, even taken into business.
For everyday life and business, especially. And a lot of you can ask CEOs, most of them have read, The Art of War.
Yeah.
But that's been a book that has helped me a lot. And I tell you what I want to get into more, and you've been into it, is the Stoics.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize, I think when I started reading the Stoics and really which I have always studied the Stoics. The boys they don't even realize what they've read, so many of the Stoics, especially Jackson going through what he did. But John too, when they were in homeschool, Veritas Press, Jackson read, he might have even read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think once I realized what Stoicism was, I was like, oh, finally I found a tribe. That's how I think too. You know what I mean? I thought I was just weird.
It's funny. A lot of people are kind of getting turned on to that, to the Stoics. I heard Joe Rogan. I heard him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple of months ago saying, "Oh yeah," and I think he was reading Marcus Aurelius.
I think for me, and probably for a lot of people, it brings a common sense with a calmness.
Mm-hmm. And that goes along with, it goes back to our generational thing. The way that I grew up and my whole mannerism and everything. It again, I didn't know about the Stoics growing up.
You studied them. I guarantee you.
Well, yeah,
you had some of it.
Now looking back, I know who I read, but I didn't know the concept of Stoicism at the time.
Right.
So, but again, like you, that's my tribe.
Yeah.
A little bit, that's
It's interesting that so many women nowadays are getting into it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, honestly, it's just like a breath of fresh air because it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's common sense and there's a calmness to it. And aside from the Bible, it literally is like a roadmap on how to handle life.
Yeah.
Everyday stupid crap in your life. So, look into the Stoics. I highly recommend it. Start with Meditations, Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so it looks like we're about at the end of our time. Well, thank everybody, I guess, that will tune in. If you made it this far.
We will get better. I hope we will get better. You got to suck at it. Everything you do when you start, you're going to suck. So
you got a little glimpse of Mind and Faith's conversations that we have when we're not on camera and being recorded. I mean, and maybe that's kind of a little bit of what we want you to take away from this is, again, so many people know us from social media, the high points. We're going to cover all the points in this, so you get to know us a little better.
Yeah, go easy on us. We're learning. Don't cancel us yet.
Yeah.
So, all right. It's been good.
So if you took anything away from it, I don't know what platforms we're even going to put this on yet, but leave a comment or a like, or maybe share it if it's something that you think maybe someone else gets something out of.
100%.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Until next time.
Later.